Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of BTD6. Let's continue with the heroes guide and tutorial. So I'm gonna do right now Pat, and I have deactivated Monkey Knowledge as usual to show you the hero by itself without any extra thing. And now in order to show you Pat, one of Pat's passive, I need to like change a map and get a map where there is some water. Now, just taking a look at Pat's basic cost, you can see that it's 800. So it's slightly cheaper than Gwen, but it's more expensive than Obin. So Pat is yet another hero that you can't use to start on with chimps. And now if you try to place Pat, the first thing that you can notice is its range. His range is very small, very similar to like an ice tower or attack shooter range, and therefore if you want to really exploit Pat, it's the best positioning is placing him in like close to 90-degree turns like this, for example, or in like when the path turns around him. So for example here also this could be a pretty decent spot if you start giving him some range with a village, with an alchemist. By leveling him up, I should be able to start covering a larger portion of this area. So yeah, normally the best spots that you would have for like ice towers, or even better for tech shooters, that's also a good spot for Pat. Now Pat stats, so his basic stats, you can see the range already, very small. His attack speed is average, so it's not gonna attack fast, not even slow, so it's pretty normal, like Quincy. Then his piercing and his damage are very weird and very difficult to describe because they work very like in a unique way. So if I spawn 11 red balloons all on top of each other, wait, I'm gonna just play Pat here, like, yeah, here, whatever. So 11 red balloons all on top of each other, so spacing 0, that's his cap piercing. So I can pop up to 11 red balloons like that. If I spawn 12, you're gonna see that one red balloon is gonna pass. See? So 11 is his cap piercing. Regarding instead his damage, again, just talking about single balloons, is 3 layers. So that means that he can pop up to a green balloon in one hit. If I spawn here a yellow balloon, you can see that one red balloon is surviving. Now when you start combining layers, so layers of damage with piercing, that's where things become weird, and I haven't really figured out yet his mechanics. Because see what happens now. If I spawn 11 blue balloons, right? Because he deals 3 layers of damage, he should still pop 11 blue balloons in one hit, right? But that's not what happens. He just pops 11 blue balloons, he just pops 1 layer of the 11 blue balloons. So I don't really know why, but that's how he works, and therefore, depending on the actual amount of balloons that there are, his damage is gonna be higher or lower. So if there is just 1 blue balloon, he's gonna pop it in 1 hit. If there are more of them, you're gonna pop. You're not gonna pop them all. So I don't know. I'm gonna try here too, and you can see already that with 2 blue balloons, he couldn't pop both blue balloons at the same time. So yeah, I don't know really how his mechanics are and like the algorithm behind his piercing and damage, but as you can see, it's very weird and it's very difficult to like figure out and to describe. Now I chose this map, of course, because talking instead about Pat's unique abilities and characteristics. The first one is the fact that he's the only hero so far in the game that can be placed on top of water. So I can place him on land and on top of water. he's not gonna ignore line of sight collision. So you can see here the red area. So the obstacles are gonna block his line of sight, but he's gonna be able to be placed on water. And because of that, you can place him in very weird spots, like half on top of land and half on top of water, as you can see right here. So normally, like a water tower, you have to place it so that the center of it is on top of water, and the same goes for like a land tower. But Pat, because he can be placed on both surfaces, he can be placed in this very weird spot. For example, this one that is exactly between land and water. So that's one of Pat's unique abilities. Now the second one is the fact that he can pop Lead Bloons already. So his slam attacks are gonna pop Lead Bloons. He doesn't have any other weakness, so he can pop purple bloons, like black bloons, whatever. And his main weakness, let's say like that, is camo detection. So he cannot detect camo bloons. And that's pretty much it. So those are the unique characteristics and the basic stats of Pat. So now I'm gonna go through all the levels. I'm gonna explain all of them, and then at the end of the video I'm gonna just do a quick summary and overview and the best way to use this hero. Alright, so level 2 is gonna increase the radius of his slam attack, so his basic attack. Now his basic attack is considered like an explosion, because the radius is just something applied to an explosion. So I think that with this they mean that each time that Pat is gonna slam down one balloon, he's gonna like cover a wider area with the little explosion. That, by the way, you can see it like when he attacks. You can see like this small like star shape figure. That's the I think that's the range, that's the radius of this slam attack. So that's what is gonna get increased. And see now what happens. So just by getting Pat level 2, remember before that he couldn't pop the 11 blue balloons at once. He just popped the blue layer and then he popped the red layer. But now see what happens. Just with level 2, now he can pop the 11 blue balloons at once. So I don't really know like the interaction between radius, piercing and damage, but just with this slight increase in radius, now you can see that his overall damage is higher. So that's how it works. Level 3, you unlock Pat's first ability, Rallying Roar, and it's gonna affect all nearby monkeys. It's gonna last for 7 seconds, and it's gonna make all nearby monkeys and himself, so he's gonna apply it also on himself. It's gonna make them pop 1 extra layer, so it's just 1 extra damage. Now only towers that are placed inside of Pat's range are gonna benefit from this ability. So now here I've placed actually let's place just 1 more. So I placed 4 duck monkeys, 2 definitely in range of Pat, 1 it seems out of range, right? And then 1 surely out of range. So if I click on the ability here, you can see that yeah, these 3 duck monkeys are benefiting from the ability. So even like towers very close to the range are gonna benefit still from this ability, but definitely the 4th duck monkey was just too far away, so he's not gonna benefit from the ability. And that's pretty much it. Level 4, more attack speed, so his basic attacks are gonna increase in attack speed. Level 5, it's pretty interesting because it's a passive, and every 5th attack that he's gonna perform is gonna change his slam attack for a slap attack. And this slap, he's gonna do a different animation, and he's gonna push balloons backwards. So it's like distraction proc, it's like the blowback effect from the wizard, it's from the druid, sorry, it's something like that. So here, I don't know, 100, let's say 100 pink balloons, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the fifth attack. That was the slap. Now you couldn't really see here how much exactly the balloons fly backwards, but you should be able to see it more here in these very last attacks, and that's how it works. So now this slap attack is gonna do less damage than his normal attack. It's gonna do half damage. So yes, you are knocking balloons backwards, but you're doing less damage as well in that same time. Now this slap attack works for every balloon, and it even works on mob class balloons. Oh no, wait, just one though, not 100. And that should be the slap. So you can even proc these slaps on mob class balloons. Now BFBs, Zombie Gods, DDTs, and of course BADs are immune to this slap attack. Level 6 is yet another passive. Now his basic attacks, so slam attacks and also the slap attack, are gonna stun balloons for a period of time. This works for every balloon up to ceramics, so mob class balloons are immune to this stun, and it works pretty much like this. So stun, stun, and it's just a brief stun. I don't even know if it reaches 1 second, but yeah, it's quite a nice add to the kit. Now level 7, increase popping power. Now this popping power is referred to what I was writing right at the beginning, so this 11 piercing. Now from 11 it turns to 21, so it increases by 10. So now he can pop 21 rat balloons at once. And now you could see right there the exact thing that I was talking about, that the slap attack is going to do less damage. So he should be slam, 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 and slap. And you can see that with the slap, I couldn't pop all the 21 red balloons. I popped less. I don't know by how many I popped because they were all on top of each other. But yeah, that was just to show you that with the slap attack, you do less damage. Level 8, more attack speed. Level 9, increase in range. Now the increase in range, actually here I just did it bad, is gonna be just by about 2 units. So of course, percentually talking, comparing his basic attack range, these 2 extra units are quite significant, but overall, of course, it's not gonna be that much. So you can see right here, boom, 2 units, 2 or 3 units increasing the range, and that's level 9. And now finally level 10. Level 10 is gonna unlock his second ability. It's called Big Squeeze, and it's gonna grab a mob class balloon other than BADs, so BADs are immune to this ability, and it's gonna crush it over 5 seconds. Now there are 2 important things to say about this ability. The first thing is that it can work on DDTs, but only if visible. So that means that if you're giving camo detention to Pat, or if you have other towers that remove the camo status from DDTs, that is when Pat can use this ability on DDTs. Otherwise, DDTs are gonna be immune. So even if I click on it, you can see it's not gonna work. If I get just a village here and then I wait for the DDT to come again, now it's gonna work. Alright, so that's how it is. Then another thing very important is that the time that Pat is gonna take to pop the Moab, BFB, DDT, or Oh My God is exactly the same. So it's gonna take 5 seconds to destroy either a Moab or a BFB or a Oh My God. So it doesn't, this time is not gonna increase if the balloon is like stronger. And finally, a very important thing is that while Pat is performing this animation, he will not attack. So you have to be careful when you use this ability, because Pat is not gonna attack. So you're gonna lose the slap attack, you're gonna lose the slam attack, you're gonna lose the stun, and so yeah, just be careful. And that's pretty much it. Now level 11, more layers of damage, so is an increase in damage. Yeah, again, I don't know by how much exactly this damage is increased, because of the fact that in order to see it, you have to start getting balloons that have more bloons inside. For example, a black bloon inside has 2 pink bloons. So because by having 2 pink bloons, you start considering also the peers. That's when things go weird. And so I don't really know by how much this damage is increased. I can try to calculate it by trying to spawn one single mob and seeing how much damage it's going to do to the mob. So you can see it's 8 of damage, I think, with each slam attack. So each slam attack is going to do 8 layers of damage. This slap is going to do just 4. So it's exactly half. So far it seems that he has 8 layers of damage with the slam attack. But again, as I said, if you start considering bloons, he may not be able to pop 8 layers. For example, here, a rainbow has 8 layers, right? If I spawn it, I very much doubt that, oh wow, he can actually pop it in one hit. Okay, so maybe I'm mistaken. Yeah, but you can see also another very weird thing, that before, so as the rainbow is popping, you can see that like there are a lot of other bloons that come out of it. So it's not instantaneously the poppage. See that you can see like bloons being popped like in a line. So I don't know, that's weird. But definitely here, if I just spawn 2, yeah, you can see already that 2 rainbows just proc this weird interaction, and yeah, it's just over. Okay, so let's continue. Level 12 attack speed, level 13 another very important and interesting level. Now the stuns are gonna last longer on normal bloons, so up to ceramics, and you can also stun mob class bloons very briefly. So this stun on mob class bloons is gonna last exactly the same for mobs, DDTs, Zomegads, and BFBs. So the stun duration is not reduced based on the strength of the bloon, and yeah, you can see it right here. So it's just a mini stun, is less than half a second, I think, but it's gonna surely add something to support, because you're gonna slow down mob class bloons. They are advanced, and so definitely if you have other towers, it's just a lot better. Level 14, another very important level, is gonna buff his level 3 ability, and now his level 3 ability is gonna have increased radius, so it's gonna target towers that are out of range of paths. So you can see right here, for example, I'm gonna do again here the same stuff. So placing I don't know, one dark monkey is exactly in range of path, one dark monkey is slightly out of range, another one a little more distant, and another one very distant. And if I use here the ability, you can see that all 3 of the top ones are benefiting from it. Only this one that was very far away is not gonna get it. So that's level 14 increased radius. It's gonna also last longer, and it's gonna make all towers affected, plus himself of course, do extra damage to ceramics and mob class bloons. So very nice buff. Level 15, the slap attack can affect more bloons, so you can knock more bloons backwards at once when you proc the slap attack every on the 5th attack. And level 16 is another increase in range. Now this increase in range is smaller than his level 9. It's gonna be just about 1 unit, I think. And yeah, that's it. That's the level. Level 17, more attack speed. Level 18, popping power. So this worked again like before. So it's gonna be another increase in piercing by 10. So from 21 to 31. So 31 red bloons, of course. Now level 19, more damage. As I said, this increase in damage is depends on the actual how much layers and how many bloons you're counting in the radius of the slam attack or the slap attack. But if you consider here mob class bloons, you can see here the pops. So it's gonna do like 19 layers of damage, I think, when he can hit the mob class bloon completely with the slap attack, with the slam attack. and then the slap attack instead is gonna do 9 layers of damage. So that's how I can see it working. Of course, it's gonna work differently on balloons like ceramics or on other balloons, because it's gonna just do it's gonna also, the piercing is gonna come into consideration, and so everything starts to be different. And finally, level 20, big squeeze. So it's level 10, another buff, and now he can grab several balloons at once. Now this level is very important because of the fact that Pat now is going to be able to grab up to 4 Moabs, PFPs, Zomegods or DDTs at once. So if these balloons are close enough to one another and all in range of Pat, he's gonna grab them all and he's gonna crush their external layer, just like that. So if you have 4 Zomegods close enough to one another, for example in this case just one of spacing, and you wait for the correct moment of the ability, so you wait that the Zomegods are all in range of Pat and you use it, you can pop the Zomegod layer of all 4 of them in one hit. So that's very good. And the ability as well doesn't have really a very long cooldown, so you can use it many times in like round 98 or 96. You can use it multiple times in one round. But remember that while Pat is performing the animation, he will not attack the balloons. So you will not proc the slam attack or the slap. You're not gonna stun the balloons, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So now that I've covered all the 20 levels, I'm going to just do a quick summarize and overview. So the main weakness of Pat stays pretty much the same. So his limited range, so the fact that he cannot really attack the balloons for such a long time is a weakness. And his other weakness is camo detection. So not even level 20 he can detect camo balloons. And so you're gonna need 100% a village giving him camo detection, or you're gonna be needing other towers to remove the camo status from the balloons. Of course, with the range you can supply to it, like for example you can place here an alchemist, you can place a village, and so in that way you can buff more and more Pat's range. So you can see, for example, right now it's not that bad. And yeah, that was just his main weaknesses. Now talking instead about his strengths, if we take aside the fact that it's very weird mechanics going on with the piercing and the damage, still his kit is very good, because he has like an ability that is gonna buff other towers. So it's a supporting ability that's gonna make nearby towers do extra damage, 1 extra layer of damage. Plus at level 14 you unlock ceramic and mob class balloons extra damage, so super good. Then he has like this slap attack that's gonna knock balloons backwards up to mobs, so very important, like it's knocking backwards mobs. And on top of that he also has a stun, so he's gonna increase by a lot already just by his kit. He's gonna increase a lot his own attack speed, and so he's gonna like almost perma-stun the balloons. If you slow them down with like a glue gunner with other towers, he can like literally almost perma-stun them, so just with these basic attacks. And so it's very efficient. A lot of supportive upgrades really, because his damage is not really that high, but because he has like the stun, the slap, the ability to increase the nearby towers. If you want to, you can also use his level 10 as well, especially like in round 99. If you can grab several 45 DDTs, yes, he's not gonna be able to attack and to stun the balloons for the duration of the ability, but definitely it's gonna make the run easier. And so yeah, overall I think it's a very strong hero. I would say it's pretty much at the same level of Gwen. So number 1 is Obin, then we have Gwen and Pat, that in my opinion are very similar. Maybe Gwen is just slightly better just because of her range, So if Pat would have just a little larger range, it would be like perfect, because you could proc the stun in a larger area. You could proc the ability covering more towers, and but yeah, nonetheless, even with this current range, I think it's very strong. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and see ya. Bye bye.